Let's be clear, your peace is too expensive to be occupied by bitterness. It's time for you to evict them. It's time for you to let them go. Welcome to the Courageous Hustler podcast. I am your host, Sandra Ocasio from sandraocasio.com, founder and CEO of the Courageous Hustler Empowerment brand. Our mission is to empower you to recognize that you can become everything you've ever dreamed impossible in your life and embrace and embody the courageous hustler in you. In this community, fear does not stop our purpose. We just learn how to walk with it. To stay up to date on all upcoming episodes, make sure to subscribe, tune in each week. And with that being said, let's get into today's episode. Hello, courageous hustlers. Welcome to another episode. Today, we're going to talk about the courage to forgive and breaking free from all the things that are holding you back because of unforgiveness. And so let's be real. The thing about forgiveness is that it's hard. It's really hard. It's really messy. It's very uncomfortable. And sometimes it just honestly feels downright impossible. And when somebody hurts you, the last thing you want to do is let it go. I mean, listen, I get it. I have been there. There's so many times that someone has hurt me and I'm like, I don't want to let it go. I want justice. I want payback. And you want them to feel every ounce of pain that they put you through. But the thing is that unforgiveness isn't hurting them. It's not punishing them. It's actually you're punishing you. And what that actually looks like, it's almost like you're drinking poison and you're expecting for that person to feel hurt, but really you're drinking the poison and it's actually just hurting you. That's just not the way forgiveness works, right? They don't get hurt by you drinking poison, but you will, little by little, every single day. And so today we're going to talk about the courage to forgive, and not because they deserve it, but because you deserve the peace. So let's dive into it. So forgiveness is going to be one of the other ones that I'm going to say are non-negotiable for me. And I think that for me, forgiveness became non-negotiable because I recently, and when I say recently, within the last 2 years, I was holding on to something very personal, very important. It was such a big thing. And I'm not going to get into details today about what it is. I am very transparent with you guys, but for the sake of this episode, I'm not going to get into it. I'm still working through a lot of the things, but one day I will be able to share this openly. And let's just say, for the sake of it, something happened to me when I was 9 years old. I'm 43 now. So just hear me out. 2 years ago, I was able to release it. That's how long I held on to this thing. And I went through seasons of telling myself that didn't happen, that didn't occur. I'm crazy for thinking that happened. And the more I kept telling myself that didn't happen and tried to bury it, the more God was reminding me more details about what occurred. And so I'm here to tell you, for me, forgiveness is a non-negotiable, because the weight of unforgiveness and carrying that resentment around like you're carrying a backpack full of bricks, it's heavy, that's exhausting, and it's unnecessary. Forgiveness is not about letting people off the hook. It's about freeing you from that weight. And one of the Bible verses that comes to mind is Matthew 6:14, and he basically says, forgive them. He's not saying forgive them if they apologize. He's not saying forgive them if they deserve it. He's literally saying forgive them, period. For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. So forgive them, because he knows that unforgiveness keeps us stuck in the past, while forgiveness sets us free to move forward. And so forgiveness launches you into that future that you're holding hostage because your unwillingness to forgive. And the cost of staying stuck here, when you refuse to forgive, you're giving that situation, that person, power over your life. Every single time you replay the hurt, you're giving that person or that thing rent-free space in your mind. And let's be clear, your peace is too expensive to be occupied by bitterness. It's time for you to evict them. It's time for you to let them go. So let's talk about what forgiveness looks like and what it does not look like, right? This is what I believe to be true for me. Forgiveness is a choice that you want to release the whole pain that has on you. It's choosing peace over bitterness. It's saying, this hurt me, but I'm not going to let it define me. Forgiveness is not approving of what happened, because that's not what it is about. Forgiveness isn't saying what happened was okay, because maybe it wasn't, right? Forgiveness is not saying you don't have to forget. You could forgive but not forget. It is okay for you to forgive and still set boundaries. You don't have to say, oh, well, I'm going to forgive and forget. I forgive, but I still get to choose boundaries. And also, forgiveness is not an automatic reconciliation. Unless you feel safe and healthy, I recommend for you to reconcile when you feel right, when you feel good, if there is a reconciliation that needs to happen. In my case, a reconciliation did occur, but it took me years to get to that place where I felt safe and healthy enough mentally to say, I'm going to forgive. I'm not forgetting, but I'm going to forgive, because the unforgiveness was holding me back from my next level. And so the freedom and forgiveness, when you forgive, you're not saying that what they did was okay. You're saying, I refuse to let this control me any longer. I refuse to let this pain control my life any longer. And so when you forgive, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you, right? It's a gift to yourself. So let's talk about some steps that you could take to forgive others without minimizing the pain though, right? And so the first step is acknowledge the hurt. You can't forgive what you don't acknowledge. Let's be clear about that, right? You can't heal what you refuse to confront. So don't pretend that it didn't happen. I want you to name it. I want you to feel it so that you can then release it. And an example of that, what that kind of looks like, you can, and just to put words to your pain, you can say it is okay to keep it as simple as like, when you did this, insert the situation. When you did this, when this happened, it made me feel, and then insert the emotion. It's that simple. You don't have to get into details and all. It's literally that simple. When you betrayed me by doing this, you made me upset or made me disappointed and broke my trust. That's simple. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to do all the things. The next step is feel the feelings. Forgiveness isn't about suppressing your emotions. You don't get to bypass your emotions. It is okay for you to be angry, sad, disappointed, but you still have to process them in a way that's not going to destroy you. Feel it, but don't let it consume you. And in this area, I would definitely say, all right, you know what the feeling is. You know what occurred. You acknowledged it. You named it. You know what the feeling is. You can release it by journaling. You can say, all right, this is what occurred. This is how I feel. And I get to write it out so that I can release it in some way. The next step, choose to forgive. To me, forgiveness is a choice. It's not a feeling. It's not an emotion. You may not feel like forgiving, but you can still choose to do it. Pray for the strength to let go. An example of that, and let me be clear, because sometimes people say, well, I don't know what to pray on that. So the prayer could be very simple. You can literally say, God, I choose to forgive so-and-so person for so-and-so action. Help me release this pain and walk in freedom. That's a simple prayer, right? Your next step is going to be release the offense. So write a letter. And again, you don't have to mail the letter. You don't have to send it. By all means, do whatever feels good to you. If you want to send it, more power to you, but you don't have to send it. A way to release that letter could be by burning it. You can tear it up. You can bury it as a symbol of releasing it. But basically, Write the letter, and you can be as detailed as you need to in this letter. You could let them know exactly, unload all the things that you need to unload in this letter, but make sure that you release it in the format that feels good to you. And honestly, in this one, I'm also going to say pray for that person, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve the peace that it's going to bring you. It really takes another level of maturity to be able to say, I'm going to pray for the person that hurt me. It really takes another level of maturity to say, I wish you the best, even if you wish me the opposite. And I want you to think about that, and what does that look like for you? And then let's talk about forgiving yourself, because let's face it, you deserve that too, right? The weight of self-unforgiveness is super heavy, and you shouldn't sit in that. And sometimes the hardest person to forgive is you. You keep replaying the mistake, wondering, am I ever going to be enough? But here's the truth. God's grace is bigger than your worst moment. And so a few steps that you could do to forgive yourself is own it, right? Name the mistake without sugarcoating it. Be real to you and say, what was my mistake? Don't justify the mistake. Just what was it? Then you can ask yourself, what did I learn from it? Every failure is feedback. So what did that experience teach you, and how can you grow from that? And then release the guilt. Ask God for forgiveness and then accept it. You're human, and humans mess up every single day, and that's okay. There's no shame in that. And don't let those past mistakes define who you become or who you're becoming, right? You're not who you used to be. You're who God says you are. And so move forward, and don't let your past define who you are, because that is a recipe for self-sabotage. And so if God already forgave you, who are you to keep punishing yourself? Release it. Let it go, friend. And honestly, there's so much power in forgiveness that really allows us to move forward and freedom to dream again. When you forgive, you really create space for new joy and new relationships and new opportunities. Remember Joseph in the Bible? Joseph was betrayed by his brothers, right? His brothers sold him off to slavery. They left him for dead, and yet he forgave them, because he stepped into his God-given destiny. So imagine that. Your forgiveness could be the key to your breakthrough, but you have to take that step, right? And so my challenge for you this week is going to be, what's one thing that you're holding on to that you need to forgive? And if you're ready for that, it's time to let it go. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom and you deserve peace. So before we close out this episode, I just want to remind you, forgiveness is not easy, but it is worth it. It's not about letting them off the hook, but it's about you taking back your power. And so what is it that you're holding on to, and who is it that you need to forgive, right? Take that step today, because you, my courageous friend, you were meant to live free. So slide into my DMs and tell me, what's one thing that you're ready to forgive? Because I want to cheer you on. This is a journey that requires for you to be in community and to have people that are going to hold you accountable and that are going to help you through it. And as always, if this episode blessed you in any way, share with a friend. Sharing is caring. And until next time, stay courageous. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. As always, please go ahead and follow us on your favorite social media platform. You can find those handles here in the show notes. We would love to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe so that you get notified when the next episode drops. Until then, stay courageous.